And here we have Jazz, one of my favorite characters of all time. I mean, I really mean he is one of my favorite characters of all time. Ever since I've been watching the G1 cartoon, he's just one of those characters that kind of like what a lot of people did with Optimus Prime. Jazz did for me. He's the one that I instantly liked. He was one of my favorites. He's one of the few Generation toys that Generation 1 and Generation 2 toys that actually survived my childhood and actually have been sticking with me. That's how much I've loved this guy. I guess you can say I loved the G1 version of this guy because he only appeared in a couple other franchises, the movie verse being included, but of course we all know his demise in that. Or at least, yeah, spoiler alert, if you guys haven't seen it, it's, 2011? The movie came out 9, 10, 11, 3 years ago. You guys should know that by now. No, it came out 4 years ago. It came out in 07. So yeah, you guys should have seen it by now. So, of course, when I heard that this guy was getting a well-deserved and well-overweighted Classics release, I was happy as hell. As soon as they showed us that pic from Wonderfest, I was ecstatic. I mean, I went on all my sites and was like, "Oh my God, there's a Jazz coming out! Oh my God, there's a Jazz coming out!" And of course, we didn't know about these little speakers in here. Let me go ahead. Oh yeah, but first, the door on mine is hard to shut, so I have to shut it by pressing this window. Which, let's see if I can get it in here. Okay. It won't focus enough when it's close enough, but the window now has stress marks in it because I had to force it in so many times and it bent it, causing it to get stressed. So now my window has stress in it, and now I'm afraid to close it, which is why most of the time you see him in robot mode. And of course, he keeps the tradition of what I love about in Transformers of hiding the gun in a decent, accessible, and lockable place. Unlike what Prowl did, which I really didn't like. I mean, it said, "Oh, insert gun here, just fold it up like this." I did, and it never stayed in. The only time I actually stayed in the car mode is when I had the car on a surface. But this, actually, if you put it right here, and you can leave it underneath here too in robot mode. I'll show you here in a minute, but I won't be able to show you during transformation. But you have to take it out during transformation, or else these panels for the head will knock it out. But yeah, I like it when they do this. Too bad Bumblebee here doesn't have a weapon. Yeah, if you guys can't tell. Yeah, I can't really say anything. I do wish after the United version came out, I do kind of wish I would have waited to the United version, because instantly my first complaints about this were, I don't like the pure black wheels. I don't. I mean, they could have at least painted the rims and all this right here. See that? All that is this. You can barely tell because of my lighting. Yeah, you see there? You can tell. But there is sculpted detail for the back window. There is sculpted detail for the back taillights and to continue the stripe. But did they paint them? No, they just left it blank. And of course, the United version has that all painted. Now, one thing it took me a while to realize that if you look closely enough, you see that little disc in there? You won't be able to tell because the details are so tiny and it's so dark. You can only tell in person. But there's actually a disc break in there, which I have to give him props for that. Now, of course, he does have this little feature in this mode, which, wow, I'm actually showing off a car more than a couple of minutes. Which you can take his little speakers and yeah, you gotta make them clear first, and then you can now see when it's closed like this. Now see, yeah, they're at the, yeah, see what I mean? I have to find these little ways to close it. Ta-da! Little speakers. Now, the story behind this guy is that I got really impatient. I was so excited I got impatient with this guy because I ordered him offline for retail price, nonetheless. But with shipping, I ended up paying for $20 for him, which I highly regret now because literally Literally, the day before he came in, 2 days after I bought it, I found him at Target. You not believe how I was. It's been the patience with me with these getting overexcited about certain toys like him and that. If you guys don't know what that is, that's a later review, but let's just say this is a whole nother story by itself. And I'm just a heads up, yeah, this is real. But anywho, yeah, I never saw, if I did see the episode where this is homaging, where the speakers come out, I never saw it. I know I've pretty much said I grew up on G1, but I never actually seen all the way through the G1. You gotta blame Fox Kids for rerunning episodes and cycling through episodes, or doing the whole, we're gonna show last week's episode and this week's new episode, and doing that, prolonging the episode count. Well, anyway, that's the most I can do. Yeah, his door's open, as you saw. As part of the transformation, his hands and the combination of his hands and legs do kind of look like seats. You can't see the glass on there. I kind of pretend they are. Anyway, let's get on to robot mode. And here we have Jazz. Whoa, might want to... Let's move that camera up just a tad so see his... There we go. Instantly. First thing I hate... not hate. The things I don't like about his robot mode is pretty much the same complaints as everybody else. His chest does not lock in whatsoever. The best you can do to help keep it down is first is his backpack. His little thing here. You can kind of friction it. It kind of frictions itself up like this, and it holds it down a little bit. Second tip, which I had to find out the fun way and isn't mentioned in the instructions, is his shoulder pads. What made me kind of realize this is that when you transform him, they're like this, if you don't do anything. But then when I kept messing with him, I realized there's a hinge. Try to see if I can get it. See if you can barely see it, but there's a hinge in there right above the ball joint for the shoulder. And then I realized these things could move. Putting pressure on these flaps, as you see there's this gun, putting pressures on these flaps to help keep this down. So it helps keep it down a lot. And even though it doesn't lock in place, these friction joints do enough. They do enough to ensure that his chest will stay down. Now, articulation is phenomenal. Most of these joints you'd say, oh, these are just for transformation. The only one without be for that is the double knee joint. Right there. See? And those are kind of winicky to line up as soon as you transform it. Now, one thing I don't like, another thing is, I know this is a guy I was like, oh yes, but there's a couple things I don't like about it. As you can tell, the feet are slanted, which means he can't stand up straight like this without being kind of unstable. He has to be kind of sprawled to be completely stable, because you can tell by the feet. He's meant to be somewhat sprayed out. His arms, bicep swivel, double hinge elbow, ball jointed shoulder. So you can get this guy in a pretty decent range of poses. Oh yeah, ball jointed hip. Oh no, that's a universal joint. My bad. I keep forgetting that. Thigh swivel. No ankle. I mean, he has the little tilt, so he can be like that. But he can't move side to side, which is like, aw. Now, one little detail I don't like is that this is unpainted. But then again, this is the Hasbro version. Again, I should have waited for the Takara. I really should have. Oh, and his gun. And I guess that's another reason why I'm glad I'm doing this. His gun can store, as you saw, in both robot mode and car mode, but you have to take it out first. Here, let me show you why. Take this out. I know I'm actually showing transformation steps. Because, see, you see how those two flaps Okay, these two posts right here, I'm going to get something, here we go, screwdriver, so you can actually see. These two posts right here, there we go, are meant to hold the handle on the gun. So you can have it either way. It doesn't matter, as long as it's like tucked in there nice. And it holds it really tightly too. Here, let me show you. Ta-da! And it's, well, of course, for me, for the review, it's giving me troubles. And voila, easy to put in. Most of the time, easy to take out. See, there we go. Now, see, the reason why I say you have to take it out during transformation is because of this. This one step right here, when you have to separate the arms for the flaps on the roof. See, watch. It'll pop it right out. And I think it just, yep, it did. It just went past into my drawer. Yeah, I had to prop my camera up on a drawer. Hold on. There we go. Yeah, unprofessional on me. But anywho, let me just see. That's one little feature I did like. That's one little feature. That's one thing I hated about the G2 is that how futzing with his head. I think they kind of took the hint. See, when you transform, just hold your shoulders and pop those up. Most of the time, God bless it. Okay. Oh, come on, guys. You know I only edit when I'm doing a skit. And this is not a skit. There we go. Okay. Up. Friction. Good. And yes, the one complaint about him is that he has the Judge Dredd head. I lost my LCD light, so I can't really show that off really well right now. And his gun transforms too a little bit. It unfolds. There you go. And of course he can hold it, and he does have the splayed hands. See? Splayed hands. Kind of a dark background, so I use my hands. And he can hold pretty much any weapon that the splayed hand people can use. I think I can use his Trax gun. Trax's little missiles can be held in there. Of course the guns from a lot of previous other generations you can't, but the most recent stuff you can. I think he can hold Blur's gun, I think so. Oh well. And of course he still has the better scoot this back a little bit. He still has the speaker gimmick, because it's just in his doors, and his doors behind his back, so nothing really stops him from being split out like that. Now, of course, the one feature we weren't shown until people got this in hand was that these are actually clips. They're part of the 3mm clip system. So you can take them right off, and you can put anything on those little hooks right there. And the neat place you can put them is not just anywhere else, but right here on the gun. Uh-oh. Yeah, this one has a... Crap. Pull it straight off. I forgot. Anywho. Now, some people... I know some reviewers has posted it like this. At least what I've seen. But in the instructions, it actually shows you can do this. There's actually little grooves on the speaker. You can kind of see them. And there's a little groove... There's a little tab right past the... Right on the gun. Right there. And they kind of fit. Boom, like that. And they'll fit like that, actually making the gun look a little bigger. And as you can tell, there's actually little itty-bitty blasters on there. I'm using the screwdriver because this is getting really close, and even though I have kind of thin hands, all this close and personal stuff over our transformer, I'm gonna eat you now. Yeah, it doesn't really work, so I'm going to start using the screwdriver to start pointing stuff out. And of course you can pose him. I haven't really found any decent poses for him. Oh yeah, the joint on my left wrist for this Jazz is kind of loose. Hey, he's a little limp-wristed. I have a gauge ass. Let's see. Articulation is great. I really like his character. I really like the character, like I said. Again, again, I have a couple of problems with it, but overall, don't let those problems make you skip it. If anything, I say get him. By any means, well, not by any means, but don't do what I did and pay more than retail. Well, actually, retail for now is now all the sales have stopped, so it's now back up to 12, which is pathetic. But there's a lot of uhs in this. Yes, the new Revealer Shield Light has been fantastic so far, and I can't wait for Cup, Rekgar, Scourge. I can't wait for all of them. I'm a big movie fan. Cup, Rodimus Prime. Finishing my 3rd season shelf, and I'm trying to get an Ultra Magnus, but of course that's proving difficult right now, especially with money being very tight. See previous video. If you can help, get me an Ultra Magnus by trade or gift or whatever. Please let me know. If oh yeah, and a Classics Ultra Magnus, to be clear. And I'm going to try to need to get Protector Armor, but I know that's going to be damn near impossible. I don't know what to say. He's a great figure. I wish I got the United version because all the missing paint apps. I might get the sticker sheet to fill in those gaps. Oh yeah, the front tires are a little smaller than the back tires. Oh yeah, that was one thing I wish they improved on the G2 model, was how they did the feet for the back, and they did it. It still retains the same pretty much transformation, but they greatly improved it. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, if think G2 modernized. G1 or G2, it's the same figure, just different decals. Yeah, I mean, what more can I say? He is a great figure. I mean, I have him I mess with him constantly. He has great posability. Him and Trax both are great figures. My classic shelf is growing again. For those who don't know, I had a sale, and of course I had to put up some Universe stuff for sale, and of course those went fast, abnormally fast. Well, anyway, let me get this off. This video is pushing 11 minutes. I might cut some stuff out. If not, you've probably seen it already. And I'm gonna sign out, guys. You guys all have a nice day. See ya.